Hi there, Ram owners. Today in your 2012 Ram 1500, we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install Roadmaster's Charge Line Kit. And your Charge Line Kit, you really don't even see it installed on your vehicle. It integrates into your existing diode wiring, so you'll have to already have a connector here at the front to attach your charge line to. Our connector here at the front is a 6-pole connector. This is the most common connector type for a flat toe setup, is putting a 6-pole here at the front. You'll need 4 poles just for all of your lighting circuits, so a 6-pole will give you 2 additional circuits for adding accessories. A charge line kit's one of the most common, and your motorhomes are typically wired for them already. And usually when you plug in an umbilical, like a 7 to 6 connector into your motorhome, that 7-way end on your motorhome will send a charge circuit down to the center pin here on your 6-pole. So we're going to you would wire your charge line kit into that center pole to be able to get your voltage trickle charging your battery from your motorhome. So whenever you're driving your motorhome, the motorhome's charging system, the alternator on there is going to put out a higher voltage than what our battery is, pushing some in there, keeping it topped off. So when we reach our destination, no matter how long we're driving, because I know some of you guys out there like to put in the hours and maybe do a 6 to 8 hour trip, some vehicles could discharge over the course of 6 to 8 hours, depending on how much the braking system's drawing and any loads that may be present when the vehicle's in flat tow. So a charge line circuit like this is going to ensure that battery stays topped up and you never have to worry about hearing that clicking noise when you get to your spot, realizing you can't take this vehicle. And this is what our charge line circuit looks like under the hood here. We've got circuit protection included with the kit to ensure that we're going to keep our vehicle in a safe state, no chances of shorts and any electrical damage there. You'll receive a wire included with your kit that's a heavy enough gauge to allow your battery to trickle charge, and enough length of wire to be able to make the connections here at your battery to your circuit breaker and as well as to the front to your connector there. You'll also receive some wire loom in the kit to protect your circuit as you're making all of your routing and connections. So if you want to follow along with us, we'll show you how to get this installed. This is something that honestly you could probably do in your driveway or in your garage even in less than a half an hour. It's a really easy thing to get done, and it does really just put you peace of mind when you're going down the road knowing that when you get to your spot, you're not going to have to take that motorhome somewhere. You can unhook and enjoy your easier to drive vehicle. We'll begin our installation by mounting our circuit breaker. You'll want to determine a location that's close to your battery. We're actually going to put ours right next to this ground stud right here. There's a pretty good spot right here to mount it up. So now we know what location we're going to mount it up. We can go ahead and run it in with our self-tapping screws. What I like to do is, instead of holding all this stuff together though, I'll take the self-tapping screw, I'll put it through the hole, and I'm just kind of scratching a little mark where I want this self-tapping screw to go. This way we can use this. It's a lot easier than trying to hold all your pieces together when you're trying to get these self-tapping screws in place. So we're just going to run this in now. And once you get it started, we can then go ahead and back it out of there. So now we'll grab our circuit breaker and we'll get it installed. Your bronze post is labeled battery and would normally, under most accessory applications, you would hook this side here to the battery in your vehicle. But since this is a charge line kit, we're going to be using our motorhome's battery and alternator and charging system to charge this battery. So the power supply is actually going to be the motorhome. So the stud here is actually going to go to the front for our motorhome to send power to this, to then output it to our battery. So the aux is actually going to hook to the battery in this particular application that we're using it for. So we're sliding our self-tapper now through one of those little eyelid ends on our circuit breaker, and then we're running it down. It's just a little bit easier this way, trying to hold all those pieces together. Now that we've got that one snug, it kind of holds this side over here snug for us, making it easy to run this one right in. So here we've got our wiring. This needs to route from our circuit breaker to the front of the vehicle. We're going to route that first, and we'll hook it up to our battery actually last to prevent us from accidentally causing any shorts. So we're going to take our red wire here, we're going to strip it back, and after we strip it back, we're going to take one of these smaller ring terminals that comes in our kit here and attach it to it. We'll then loosen up the bronze stud, one labeled battery. After you remove the nut, slide your wire in place, that small ring terminal there, and then just reinstall the nut. We can come back and snug these down here at a later step. We're going to go ahead and get this wire routed now towards the front of the vehicle. When routing your wiring, you want to avoid anything excessively hot and any moving components. So we're going to take ours down here. We'll probably run underneath and then bring it forward to where our electrical connectors located at the front of our vehicle. And we're going to go ahead and zip tie it along the way to make sure our wire stays secure and in place where we want it so it doesn't fall down and wrap up into anything. So now that we've got our connections made to our connector at the front, we can come back here and go to make our connection at the battery. So we're going to take the remaining excess wire that we've got here from trimming off the excess up there at the front. We'll strip this back. We'll then take our small ring terminal, slide that in place, connect it to one end. We'll then remove the nut from the silver post on our circuit breaker. Slide our new wire on there. And then we can tighten this down. And at this point, it's a pretty good idea to go ahead and snug these up. You'll snug them up using a 3/8 socket. And we can go ahead and snug these down with that 3/8 socket. Don't want to over tighten them, just make sure they're snug to where they don't slide around or anything. You can't rotate on the stud there. We'll then take the rest of this wire. We're going to kind of just, we want to shorten it, but we also want to leave length there for the future to be able to make any repairs or anything we might want done. So we're going to trim it down some while leaving a little bit of excess. We'll strip this back, and then this one's going to get the larger ring terminal that's in your kit, this guy right here. This will attach to the battery positive post on our vehicle here. So we got that crimped together. We can go ahead and flip back our battery cover. So now we'll just flip up the cover for your battery positive. We did turn it to the side and push on both of those tabs there to let this open up. And that way we can kind of slide our wire in here to make it look a little bit neater. And then we can close those back up. We'll now remove the nut located here with a 10mm socket. Take your ring terminal, slide it right on top, and then just reinstall that nut. And you will get some wire loom in your kit, so we can go and cover our wiring with the loom, especially at any point where we suspect it could have a spot where it could rub through. So any place where it's kind of turning a corner, where it might be touching some metal or anything, that's a good location to make sure you got some wire loom on there. And that completes our installation of Roadmaster's Charge Line Kit on our 2012 Ram 1500.